That's a strong weed right there. Just hate somebody, cuz.
Oh man.
We are here. We are live. This is Available as podcast. I'm your host, moderator, Baby Vix. I am on location. I got my guys Damon and Mike with me. Scooby. On our show tonight, we're gonna talk about DeMar Hamlin, college football playoff final preview, and our parting shots. Of course, this part of the show. I say, let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, yeah. Hey, yeah. Boys, yeah. Hold on. We them boys. Hold on, we them boys.
This is the Four Hour Boys podcast. Of course, we are brought to you by Just for Men. You need a little color in your beard, need a little color in your hair, need a little sass. Get that C3E5876. It's gonna set you straight. Just for Men. By men. Four Bad Boys also brought to you by Sprite, the Black Folks soda. Damon's sponsor. Arizona Tea. He got him one. He got him. Got him. How much they hear, David? How much they hear?
Since 1991, $1. $1.
Uno dolore. Uno.
1 peso. 1 peso, ese.
Un peso ese. Sí, señor. Crazy straws. This is Ryan's. You're crazy, you got a straw? Get your crazy straw. Sundays and Wednesdays, 9:05 p.m. Follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube. Please do. We might if we get enough followers, I might create us a TikTok. You never know. BuyANiceShirt.com. Bernard Ingram. He is the mastermind behind that wonderful all your HBCU paraphernalia. Everything you need for your HBCU gear or your Panhandle 9 merchandise. BuyANiceShirt.com. And of course, our favorite sponsor, Henny and Coke.
Yeah.
Where you at, Faye?
I'm on location on my front porch.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Mike.
Hey, Damon. What's going on?
What's going on, Mike?
Nothing much.
Hey,
Hey, Phil.
Hey, David.
Hey, Fib.
So, of course, how was your guys' New Year? We got to say Happy New Year to everybody. Merry New Year. So, Merry New Year.
Everything was splendid, man.
Yeah, I ain't got no complaints this way, bro.
Glad we made it to another year.
Yes, sir. Because some didn't, you know what I mean?
We had a whole rundown set up.
Faye, don't.
All of that has changed. DeMar Hamlin's near pretty much death experience and brought back to life when he was
You freezing real bad, Faye.
Freezing, it's a lot of static.
Yep. Ted, what's going on, bro? Oh boy. How'd your New Year, Mike?
What's up with this dude? This dude don't froze up.
Yeah, he froze up big time.
Big time. He off now.
Yeah, he probably trying to get back on. Get back on.
Back on.
You ain't see the text I sent you, bro. When you get a chance, read it.
No, I ain't see it.
When you get a chance, read it.
Yeah, we had some storms these last night. Acting wonky, so I apologize for that. DeMar Hamlin, DeMar Hamlin. What can I say? That's the first time I've ever something that stressful. Well, before we get started on that, Pretty Tony, what they call him, Pretty Tony.
Pretty
What's
Tony.
happening?
What's the deal, Chief?
What's happening? Boy, you
Pleasure
having some
Palace, 94.
you having some technical difficulties, ain't you, Fade?
Big time.
But he froze again.
Yep.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, my internet's acting crazy. That's why I went on F. That's crazy. I'm trying to work through it, but I'm on my iPad now, so. What's going on, Tony? Ain't seen you in a minute.
What's happening, man? How was everybody? How everybody? Holiday?
Great, bro.
Great.
No complaints, bro.
That's what's up.
They go my hand. I got dial up. You're on the clock. You're on the clock, man. So you're on the clock. DeMar Hamlin, that was probably one of the scariest scenes I've ever seen. Almost any sport. Game gathers. They didn't bring Reggie Lewis. I haven't heard anybody bring up Reggie Lewis. Utley for Damon. You remember that, I believe?
Mike Utley got paralyzed. Yep.
Tell me your initial thoughts.
There's a few of them. Joe Theismann, how he had his leg snapped. And Lawrence Taylor was waving, telling him to come and get help real quick. I still don't think that compared to what happened the other night.
Keyshawn said when I was listening to the radio this morning, Keyshawn said that it happened when he was with the Jets. Like they actually had to give somebody CPR on the field. He was a member of the Jets.
Okay. It might have happened. I just don't remember.
I didn't remember it either. I thought, I've been basically going off what everybody else was saying.
Yeah.
Saying that it's never happened before.
The first one that came to my mind, not so much as death, but that injury was Alex Smith.
Yeah.
That one, and then Anatole brought up a good one. Sterling Sharp, when he got temporarily paralyzed. And then there's Mike Utley. I thought it was two of them, but the first one I thought about that was like real bad, but it wasn't. Was Alex Smith. And that man femur was sticking out his leg. And then what he had to go through afterwards. So
yeah.
This one was tough. I had to watch it a couple times, man. It was tough.
Yeah, Joe Theismann was tough too.
Yeah.
That was tough. I'm about to say if I could try to find this player that Keyshawn was talking about.
He tackled.
What'd you say, Fade?
Damon, what was your thought when you probably watched the game and your initial thought when you saw that?
I actually didn't see it live. I had to go back because I had to go get my son from work, and Mike called me to ask me did I see it, and I ended up pulling it up. My first thing was I told Mike this after I saw it. I thought he had a heart attack. Come to find out he had a cardiac arrest, and they explained why they thought his heart skipped a beat. I actually thought he had a heart attack, and the way he fell. Fellas, if he didn't have that equipment on, he fell back. He could have had a serious head injury too. So the helmet kind of sort of it kind of saved his life a little more. It could have been a little worse because he could have added a heart problem and a head injury. It was scary, man. And then to watch all them boys crying on the field, this wasn't tears. They were boohoo crying, man. It was scary to me. I don't know about y'all fellas, but it was scary to me. I don't know how I could take that because it happened so quick, and the way he fell and the way all of it went down, I had really got scared by it. It was nervous. I was nervous for his family. I was nervous for his teammates. I was the brotherhood, the NFL guy. It was messed up.
What about you, Mike?
I mean, I saw it live, and when I saw it, I didn't think the heart attack part never crossed my mind at the time. I'm just thinking maybe he got hit hard and he concussion or something. But the heart attack never crossed my mind. I think this was just as worse as when I was about 14, 15 years old and watching Hank Gathers at Loyola Marymount, watch him fall out live. I actually watched that game. Like, that was like a 11 o'clock game because, the West Coast Conference and all them schools out west, they didn't come on the TV at 11:30. So I was actually watching the game, and I remember so vividly he caught a alley-oop, and after he dunked, he took a step, and it went from there. That's what it reminded me of. So, I mean, it was rough to watch, man. But like I was telling Damon the other day, when you are a part of the sports community, whether you played it or you're a big-time fan of it, you felt for that dude, and you felt it like you knew him. Like he was a part of your family or somebody you knew or something. And, that I got kind of teary-eyed watching his teammates. That just showed you, and the fact that nobody cared what team he was on, what color he was. All they cared about is his health. And that's what meant a lot to me, man. But from what they're saying, he's getting better. He's getting his chances better off the vent. So, I mean, prayer changes things.
Yeah, it down to 50% oxygen where he was at 100% when they took him to University of Cincinnati Hospital. Tony, what were your initial thoughts, Tony?
Shocked, man. I hadn't turned the game on yet because I was doing some stuff. But then I got the alert, on ESPN app saying that the game had been suspended. And when I tried to find out, when I did turn the game on, and heard what happened, and heard everybody discussing it, saw all the emotion from everybody. Ryan Clark was on there with Scott Van Pelt talking about it. The sideline release assaulters was out there talking about it. I still hadn't seen it. I told myself I know it's out there, but I told myself I wasn't gonna go searching for it. Just out of respect. Just sadness, man. Sadness. Gratefulness. As far as me being here. Definitely feel sorry for him and his family. And I definitely have been, very prayerful, hoping that, things, get better and turn around for him. As all of y'all, I don't know the details as far as everything that happened, but he was. It was a bad situation, man. I think I heard that. Not only was he resuscitated on the field, he was resuscitated when he got to the hospital again.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not really sure how many minutes passed while they were doing the CPR before they actually got him back, with a pulse. So we don't really know without specifying and speculating and stuff like that. Just don't really know how it's gonna turn out, man. But definitely prayers for him, his family, and everybody involved.
Yeah, I watching a doctor on TikTok and another doctor. They were saying if you get hit in the right place at the wrong time, I forgot the name of I forgot the medical term it's called, but it will put you in cardiac arrest because of the electromagnetic whatever in your heart or whatnot.
The electromagnetic pulse, it interrupts it and it stops it. I know exactly what you're talking about, Faye. I seen it in that doctor that be on CNN, Doctor I think it's Gupta, I think his name is. He
Sanjay
said
Gupta, yep.
that's him. He said the same thing. He said that the right, because if you watch him, Tony, you didn't see it. So if you watch how he was the one that made the tackle. He made the tackle in the T. Higgins. The way he tackled, it was a tackle how you was taught, and he wrapped him up. He rolled him over, and from my looking at it, it looked like T. Higgins, not the crown, but a part of his helmet, like hit in the middle of his shoulder pad, so to speak.
From what I heard, it was from what I heard, it was his shoulder. I heard his shoulder. Does that call him what they call what the terminology? I'm not. I'm sure this ain't what you read up on, but I'm sure it's the same thing. They just being specific. The blunt force trauma, you know what I'm saying, to his chest.
Yeah.
You know, and I mean that's the first I heard of that. You know,
no, you're right. And the way
why
he got up, and let me explain why I thought he had a heart attack. Because I had a friend of mine that did almost the same thing. Not playing football or nothing, and he was standing behind my mother-in-law. They was doing a video. The dude, he just dropped, died right there. So when Hamlin got up, to me, Fabe, I don't know if you seen it. Like when he stood up, it looked like he was gonna fall to the side, but then he just fell back.
Yeah.
Oh man, that dude had when I say, man, it looked like he had a heart attack. And that's why I called Mike back after I seen it. Like, Mike, I think he had a heart attack. Come to find out he had cardiac arrest. So what Fabe is saying is right. Long story short, what Fabe is saying is right. They saying the blunt force trauma made the electromagnetic, whatever it's called, make his heart skip a beat. And when it skipped a beat, it stopped. And then he just passed out. I'm like, God, dog. It threw me off, man. It just made me think of my friend when he passed out. Because he passed out, he ended up dying. He turned blue. They brought him back to life. Now, I'm hearing also that they checking Hamlin for any lung damage from the compressions and anything like that. So they checking for that, making sure that he
and not and going so long without breathing.
Exactly.
And the guy that Keyshawn was talking about, he wasn't a member of the Jets. He was a member of the Lions, man. He talking about Reggie Brown.
Reggie Brown. Yep. Forgot about Reggie Brown. Forgot about him. I got my shout out to my bro Brandon, man. Brandon Lee, that's my bro. Shout out to him. It did though. That Hank Gathers, it did. Mike brought it up. That's the first person that came to Mike's mind. I mean, that's true.
Yeah, it did. It definitely did. I like Atwater myself. I was watching that game too. I was heavy in college basketball at that time.
So was I.
And
LMU,
LMU was the team to watch.
They was the team to watch.
For real. They was
putting up numbers, bro. Hank Gathers was putting up.
Hank Gathers, Bo Kimball. Boy, they used to score, boy.
Boy. So you stayed up to watch that West Coast Conference game. You made sure you watched. If anybody you watched, it was Loyola Maryland. You watched them boys.
Yeah, another person I think I was mentioning him earlier. Reggie Lewis is another one.
Yeah, he collapsed, but it took him a minute. Like they was able to. I think he stayed alive for a little while, and then he ended up dying. But him running up that court, I remember that Boston Celtics. They was at home, and he went up the court, and he just collapsed.
So, which gets to the we're gonna, of course, someone brought up Skip Bayless. We're gonna have to talk about it. What should the NFL do with this game?
Man, make it a tie. I mean, if you try to play this game, you pushing everything back. I heard a scenario today where they talking about if they were to play this game, push the playoff back a week, and that week that there's always 2 weeks for the Super Bowl, move everything back like that. And I think it's best, man, that you just you make this game a tie. There's no other. To me, there's no other way to do the game. You're already making the playoffs. You are two teams that you're two teams where it don't matter where you play. I know you want to be at home, but it don't matter where you play. You still got the chance anywhere to go to the Super Bowl. So, man, just put that game as a tie, and go from there.
Let me push back on that real quick before I let everybody else get in. Let's just say, for sake's argument, let's say, for instance, the Bengals lose this week to the Ravens, right? And you make it a tie. Is that equitable for the Ravens to end up being just a wild card when they already beat Cincinnati twice? And if they would have finished that game with Buffalo and they could have lost that game, wouldn't it be a
so Baltimore? So you're saying that Baltimore beat Cincinnati?
Mm-hmm.
Baltimore right now is 10-6.
They'll be 11.
Cincinnati won. Well, they won 11 games.
Yeah, they 11-4.
So
11 and something. My fault.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Because if you played the game and they lost and Baltimore beat them, they'll finish with the same record, but Baltimore had a tiebreaker.
There you go. And then it wouldn't be fair for a tie for Cincinnati because they were winning the game 7-3. And they had the ball,
in the first quarter.
No,
it'll be different if that game was in the second half. But that game was just in the first quarter. I mean, like I say, if that game was third or fourth quarter, yeah, but that was a first quarter game. So, you got to go with – that's the best thing I think. I'll let the fellas talk, but that's the best thing I think they need to do.
The only reason I wouldn't go for a tie, as you just said it, Mike, it was the first quarter. It would to me, a tie would probably be more cumbersome than it would be helpful because, like Fabian just said, if they mess around and lose, they lose the tiebreaker as well. It would be everything was on the tweet was kind of jacked up, but he was telling the truth. This was a very, very important game. I don't know what I would do. You really can't. Taking it back and pushing everything back probably wouldn't work. I don't know if
so if you don't do that, what other choice you got to play the game? When you gonna get it in?
You'll get it in on the wild card weekend and push everything a week back.
So play one game next week.
The top two teams get ties, right?
Just one team now.
Just one team.
Just one.
Yeah.
So that makes it even worse.
Mm-hmm. Just you got to play the game.
That makes it even worse. That makes it even worse.
But the only thing before I let Tony get back in, the only thing about making it if you play the game, let's say for instance, I'm not speaking this, but DeMar Hamlin turns for the worst, that team will be no good for the playoffs.
Exactly.
But
I don't even think Cincinnati would be that good either, though.
Yeah, because they were right there on the field. Remember, there were four incidents on that field: Antonio Brown, Ryan DeShazier, this one that just happened as a fourth one just slipped my mind. I just had it in my head. Tua on that same field within the last 12 years.
This is it. I mean, it's tough. It's tough. Tick said it. It's a difficult situation. It's real tough, bro. I don't know how the NFL will actually do it because, I mean, if you look at Mike's point, making it a tie probably would be feasible. At the same time, it seemed like it's the decision that's the, how can I put it, the absolute last choice you want to do because there's so much behind the tie.
Mm-hmm.
Play the game, man. I don't understand what the issue is about playing the game. Because they were not going to have 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying, between the championship games and the Super Bowl. I mean, they didn't have that before. It's been that way before.
Yeah,
we ain't always had 2 weeks, you know what I'm saying, between championship week and the Super Bowl.
Yeah, last time I remember they didn't do it was I think Super Bowl 25, the Whitney Houston Super Bowl.
Yeah. So circumstances, man. No, shit happens, man. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you have to adapt, you know what I'm saying, to life when it comes at you, man. No, that's not being dismissive about the situation. But I mean, I don't see what the issue would be as far as putting the playoffs off a week and playing the game next week. so you can get the game in. I mean, there's no other. Dude, we're getting ready to start the playoffs. You know, what else could you do? They're not going to do a tie. I just don't see that. They're not going to do a tie. So, I mean, what else could you do?
Let me ask y'all this question. Let me flip it around like this. If these teams were not in the playoff hunt, would the game even matter? Would you even try to figure out to get it in? It'll be okay to get tied in, right?
I don't think.
No, they would. I still think the game would matter because it still matter in some sort of fashion when it comes to draft picks. You know what I'm saying? Draft order. It matters, man. It matters.
If it was teams that was irrelevant, the only thing I think probably would matter is draft order. But even that, with two teams that's terrible and you tie them up, I don't see a huge discrepancy in their draft order. The reason why it's a huge issue because one of these teams, if they win, they would have been second in the AFC, which means home games. So,
and if Buffalo win and Kansas City lose, Buffalo is the number one seed overall.
Exactly.
No, Kansas City, but see, that's the issue. Kansas City don't have to lose. All Buffalo got to do is win because they own the tiebreaker with Kansas City.
Yeah.
All Buffalo got to do is win. They don't need it. They control their own destiny. So you talking about the number one overall seed in the AFC playoffs. You know what I'm saying? On the line for Buffalo. So, I mean, it's like
and I just thought about it too. Didn't Cincinnati beat Kansas City this year?
They did.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
So Cincinnati was to win out.
They would be
Kansas City lose.
Yeah,
Cincinnati would be the number one seed. I just thought about that.
Yeah.
But if they won Sunday, they would have been number 2.
Yeah.
Cincinnati would have been number 2 seed if they beat Buffalo. And if Kansas City lost out, that probably would have pushed them to number 1. This game had all the marbles, bro. That's why I think Tony might have a point. Might as well go and play the game so you can find out.
That's what I was saying because, like I said, just revisionist. Just once look down the line. If the Bengals would have lose these next 2 games, that means Baltimore moves up to 3, and Baltimore will not be on the road for the playoffs. They have at least one home game, at least one. So there are 4 teams that are affected by this one game. 4 teams. You got to play the game, even though it's going to give the other teams an advantage. That's in the playoffs. They get an extra week off. That's going to be the advantage right there. That could be a disadvantage to the loser
because the winner get the next week off.
Yeah,
that's a Kansas City lose.
Either one. No, yeah.
Kansas City only got 3 losses. Cincinnati got 4.
So Teague brought up a good question, which I think I seen this. He said, "Would they start? Would they start the game? Would they left? Would they pick it up where they left off? Would they start the game?
It go right back. It was 5:58 left in the first quarter.
It would be.
They go right back to that.
Just like baseball.
Because the game wasn't canceled. It was suspended, so it would start where it was
off. Buffalo had the ball. No. Cincinnati had the ball.
So Cincinnati had the ball. They were driving. Yep.
Right.
Because and if you look at their first seed will probably get 2-3 weeks off, which would be think about it. This one game also affects the NFC as well too. When you look at it, let's say for instance, Philadelphia wins on Sunday. I think Jalen Hurts is going to start. He wins on Sunday. If he don't start and they win, Philadelphia might get 2-3 weeks off for their first playoff game. This one game literally.
No, 3 weeks off. It'd be 2.
I don't know. Well, where my cousin looking at it, I'm guessing. Yeah, that's 2 weeks. I don't know why you got 3 from.
Yeah, it's 2.
Yeah.
All you're doing is you putting off the start of the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? Another week. So unless you are Buffalo or Cincinnati, you get 2 weeks before you get a game.
Yeah.
And then the
I
playoffs
just thought about what he
and
said though. Wait a minute. Think about this. let's just say regular season is supposed to end Sunday, January the 8th. Let's say they would have played that Buffalo Cincinnati game January 15th. That is right. They will be off 3 weeks because your first game wouldn't be to the last Saturday or Sunday of January. That's 3 weeks. That's 3 weeks from Sunday.
It'll be the 22nd. That ain't 3 weeks from Sunday.
No, listen. No. If Philadelphia get the number 1 seed, they get a bye.
They get a bye.
They will be off that week.
The 22nd.
So that would be okay. That will be 3 weeks before they play the game.
Yeah, okay, I get what you're saying.
If you look, if they did that, that affects the number 1 seed.
So the NFC, whoever wins the NFC number 1 seed would have 3 weeks off.
Yeah,
I got you.
Yeah,
Anatole, you're right, Anatole. My bad. Don't do that with HBC. Well, we'll forgive you. You did go to FAMU, so we'll forgive you. You did graduate from FAMU. Let's transition from playoff berth to Skip Bayless need to play off Fox Sports. The tweet that's been circling around all of social media, and if you watch Undisputed today, the first 3 minutes, I thought Shannon Sharp was going to walk literally off the set and just say, "If you are."
I did too.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it.
I thought he was going to walk off too.
You saw it, Tony?
No, I mean, I actually, when I turned on Undisputed, it had already started. So I guess I missed the first couple minutes.
Yeah, Shannon will give
it. I was watching that. I was looking for some type of, you know what I'm saying. Skip seemed, I don't know. He seemed less confrontational, you know. So I mean, you could tell it was something going on, you know, because he definitely wasn't acting like himself. But I missed what I guess what happened. It was some fireworks in the first couple minutes.
Yes, Shannon was giving his explanation about why he wasn't on the show yesterday. It triggered him because his brother, of course, he was paralyzed. Back in the 90s, he was just saying, I would hope Skip would take the tweet down. Skip interrupted him while he was talking, literally, and said, "Time out. I'm not taking the tweet down. I said what I said." Shannon said, "Dude, can I at least finish my monologue before you jump in?" My understanding that this was going to be a topic today. There wasn't an issue. Everybody had an issue with it. The executives wanted you to address it yesterday. Skip lied and said, no, they didn't. They went back. Skip kept going, and then Shannon just said, "You know what? Jenny, just go ahead and start the show. Just start the show. Just start the show. I'll send you the video. We will go off, Tony. I'll send you the
yeah, send me the video. As usual, I gotta be the bad guy. For real. Yeah. I gotta be the bad guy, man.
Say hello to the bad guy.
I mean, dude. He was man. He was talking out. Was it dumb to say? Did he not read the room, especially in the environment that we in now? Yes, man, we get it. You know what I'm saying? But when you look at what he said, dude, he was just talking out loud. And then he ended it with saying, which seems so irrelevant right now, basically. So yeah,
I didn't see them say it wrong, man. Fade was the first one to report it. Like he was, like Fade is TMZ, so he reported it first.
Skip is one of them people. Skip is one of them people that you love to hate. If it might, so let me say it by saying this. I feel like if it was somebody other than Skip Bayless that people really like and gravitate to, and don't feel like he always saying stuff for shock value or whatever the case may be, I think that it probably would have been a couple of people, but it wouldn't have been to this magnitude like it is right now. I think it's to this magnitude because it's Skip Bayless. But I'm saying, no doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems so irrelevant. I mean, he's saying that right now it's irrelevant, but he's talking about the magnitude of the game. Hell, we talking about the magnitude of the game right now on this podcast.
We talking about it now.
Let me ask y'all a question. I asked this today before we jumped on. What if he led with that tweet and the tweets that he led with followed what he said? It wouldn't be that bad. If he led with that tweet that you just read, because that was the final tweet that came out.
That was the first one, wasn't it?
No, that was the final one.
That was the third. That was the third one, David. That was the third one.
Okay, that was the third one. But it was
so. What's the first one?
He actually was talking about, if I'm not mistaken, he actually was talking about how he was praying for DeMar Hamlin. Those tweets came out first. If I'm correct.
What the tweet that came out first was what?
What was he had said something about he's praying for DeMar Hamlin, and something else he said.
I got it right here, Damon. Not exactly sure. Not as sure exactly what happened to DeMar Hamlin. Players on both teams are shaken. Ambulance out on the field. CPR administered. Can't remember play being stopped for this length of time. Just said a prayer for him and his family. I've seen so many horrific injuries suffered on football fields, yet never had I seen a reaction like this. In every other situation I witnessed or covered, the game always went on fairly quickly. The attitude was, "Hey, that's football." These players, this was different. Then the tweet, no doubt, football NFL's consider postponing the rest of this game, but how? This is the late. This, I think, the phrasing of the tweet is the issue. No doubt the NFL is considering postponing the rest of this game, but how? This late in the season, a game of this magnitude is crucial to the regular season outcome, which suddenly seems irrelevant. And then
see, nobody's focusing on that part in the same tweet where he says which suddenly seems so irrelevant. He's saying that it's a dire situation and that understandably thinking about playing this game is irrelevant, but he's still talking about the magnitude of the game, man.
He's talking about how big the game is, but he basically saying the game at this point is irrelevant. That's how I took it. But
so,
of course,
it's Skip Bayless. That's it,
of
man.
Course,
it's Skip Bayless.
He's a white man, and it went there. That's pretty much what it is.
But Fave got a good point. Fave got a good point. It's how he said certain parts of the tweet. Both of y'all are right. Fave make a good point. It's how he said it. And it's who delivering it. Tony, you are absolutely right. Controversial people, when they deliver the world is flat, they gonna catch it. They're gonna catch it. If you look at Skip Bayless, now remember, Skip Bayless is still fresh in everybody's mind. When he went off, him and Shannon initially went off because they've been talking about that and how, and you know, they didn't have people break Skip down. He's controversial. He's shock value. All of that is true. All of that is true. If he, like I said it before, I said it again. If he'd have led with that one tweet and came behind it, it's very few people would have said, this and that, but they would look at the later tweets referring to how irrelevant the game was, because he could have started off with that first tweet and led to why he felt it was irrelevant. Yeah, it's the magnitude of the game. We all know the magnitude of the game. They've been playing this game the week before it came out. We all knew who needed to win and what happens when each team wins. But at the end of the day, when you doing stuff like that and you commenting on somebody who nearly died, people gonna look at how you saying stuff and not, because everybody is acting off emotion, including Skip.
But he said, he said, which suddenly seems so irrelevant in the same tweet.
Correct.
In the same tweet. That's getting all of the. Nobody's talking about the other tweets. You know what I'm saying?
The other tweets ain't dealing with how people took what he said in that tweet. I'm not arguing with you, Tony. You're right. I'm saying that in the emotion of the game and people looking like a lay person watching the game, and then they read this tweet, they're like, damn, Skip, really? You talking about the relevance of a game or irrelevance of it? I don't think none of that should have came out. That's what most people was thinking in the moment that they was rushing this boy to the hospital.
No, I agree. And it shouldn't have came out. I'm not saying that he should have said it. What I'm saying is, it's not that big of a deal, dude. You know what I'm saying? Where we gotta, it's It's the culture that, man, y'all guys hear me talk about it every week that I can. It's the culture that we in right now, man. Can't nobody say nothing, man. You can't say nothing, dude. You can't voice your opinion or say nothing without somebody getting in their damn feelings about it, dude, and going on the news about it and going to social media about it. You can't say nothing, man.
Tony, you can't say nothing, and it don't matter what color you are. It don't even matter.
No, it don't matter what color you are.
None of that kind of stuff. It don't matter. This is a cancel society, and that's pretty much where we at.
I'm not disagreeing with y'all because Mike brought up a point. Skip Bayless is white. This is a black kid, young black kid, this, that, and third. Okay, not disagreeing with y'all. And this culture, this situation that we living in right now, it ain't like when we was 18 years old. It ain't like, you got to have alligator skin and people can deal with it. It's not like that anymore. Everything is hurtful to somebody unless that somebody is saying it to somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
But that makes it.
Matter of fact, you know something. Matter of fact, I'm gonna give you a perfect example of what I'm talking about as far as how people taking it out of context because of Skip Bayless. I was watching Sports Center with Scott Van Pelt and Ryan Clark when they was at right after it, when they were talking about everything and talking about the emotions of everything or whatever. And Scott Van Pelt said something to the nature of fantasy owners or something like that being upset right now, something like that. And it was you know what I'm saying? Nobody took that shit. What's the difference? What's the difference between Scott Van Pelt being on the air and talking about fantasy owners probably in their feelings right now, but that doesn't matter? That's the same shit that Skip Bayless just said, man. What's the difference? What's the difference? I don't see people boycotting and lynching. You know what I'm saying? Scott Van Pelt on social media and on TV. It's because it's Skip Bayless.
A lot of that too, Tony, got to do with the person that we talking about. Stephen A. Smith, Skip Bayless, Jason Whitlock, a lot of them guys, people all ready to crucify them with anything they say. Anything. So they already are in that light where if they say the wrong thing, people are gonna jump on it right away. Scott Van Pelt just so happened to be a fan favorite, so there's another difference.
And he didn't mean it that way. I get you. That way. You know what I'm saying? And nobody took it that way out of context from what he meant.
At the end of the day, like you said earlier, no matter what you say or do now, people gonna jump on it right away. Like, and I ain't even talking about Fade. Bruh, literally, like 8-9 minutes after that, he made that tweet. Fade dropped it in the group right away. That's the first thing he dropped. He dropped it right away. So then initially when you see it, you like, God damn, Skip Bayless. But then once you see the other tweets and see he came back and said, that's not what I really meant. At that point, it was too late because of what he said initially.
It was too late.
It was a wrap.
They were crucifying his head.
So we
too late.
We jump on people, man, and when we get on them, it's a wrap.
So let me say this, and y'all tell me how you feel about this. At the end of the day, the man shouldn't have tweeted it out from the jump. We get that. Let me say this: if you're gonna talk in your feelings, well, if you're gonna know, you tweet happy, because we all know Skip will tweet 25,000 times a day. So will Mike Greenberg. So will the other cats. If you already know, and you enjoy being that person, because Skip is his rock off on doing this. It don't bother him at all, because he just said it on Undisputed. I stand by what I tweeted. So that tell you right there, he good. He Gucci. It don't matter what you say. My thing would, if you're going to say that and you know you're controversial, if I'm controversial and I know that I'm going to come out here, I'm going to come out correct. I'm not going to put myself in a situation whether I know I'm controversial or not. Because at the end of the day, this young man died on the field. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want nobody reading nothing the way taking something that I said to where they gonna vilify me when my heart and my mind didn't want to come out like that. Don't tweet. That's it. In the heart of that type of situation, nobody should be tweeting.
Hey, like my boy Herm said, don't hit sin.
Right.
Don't hit sin.
You know what I'm saying? Scott
Don't
Van
hit
Pelt.
sin.
Scott Van Pelt is a likable person. Rich Eisen, likable person. All these cats, likable. They don't say anything out the ordinary. So when that rolls off his tongue, you right, Tony. It's just like, oh, okay. Skip, he like I said, he one of the people that can say the world is ecliptical, and we the planet closer to the sun. They gonna come to him. You see what I'm saying? So why
He been
in that situation?
I mean, and this ain't man. He been served on national. He been served on national TV plenty of time, dude.
Correct. That's what I'm saying. It don't bother him at all.
Jalen ate his ass up on TV.
Richard Sherman.
ate his ass up on TV.
Richard Sherman.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah. After I sent that tweet was Monday night. I went back and made sure before I made an actual post on Facebook. I looked at it like, okay, it's not as bad as what everybody's making it. The problem is he shouldn't have tweeted at all. Because I posted all 4 screenshots of the tweet. My problem with the other 4 to say the tweets. My problem was with today and the fact that you couldn't even let Shannon get his feelings out.
Yeah,
that's my problem
with that too.
That was my main issue.
I mean that's messed up. You know, like I said, I haven't seen the day yet. But you know, that's definitely messed up. I mean, that kind of goes back to, you know, when they was arguing about Brady, how he wouldn't let, you know what I'm saying, he wouldn't let him talk then. You know, that's different. But, you know, and again, I'm not taking up for Skip, but at the same time, I mean, Shannon, I feel like Shannon's out of pocket for trying to tell that man to take the tweet down. Personally. You know what I'm saying?
Hold on, Tony. Let me defend Shannon and let me use us as an example. We all a homeboy. So if you see me doing something you don't think I need to be doing, the Tony Arnold that I know, you're gonna be like, hey, or chill out, man, don't do that.
Not on national TV.
Shannon
not on
asking
national TV.
Huh?
Not on national TV.
It ain't necessarily
like I mean, but to me it is. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Like if I got an issue with any of y'all, I'm coming to you man to man, dude. I'm not gonna wait and be on the podcast. You know what I'm saying? We're recording to talk about my issue I got with you. Oh, I can't wait till I get on the podcast. I gotta talk to Atwater about something. No, dude. I'm a goddamn call. I'm gonna say what I got to say.
But what Shannon Sharp was saying had something to do with what Skip did. So he was addressing it.
And Tony, Tony, I get it, because we all of us have done this to each other. We got an issue, we're gonna holler at each other. To a certain extent, that's a part of what they're supposed to do. If they Skip came out after that whole fiasco about Tom Brady and him, and they get into it. We brothers argue. We gonna get into it. So if they gonna talk like that on TV, I think Shannon do have a right to say, you know what, Skip, I think you need to take it down. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, so let me ask you this then. We have pre-production, right? For our small little podcast. Yeah, we gonna be big one day. We gonna speak into existence. But for our small little podcast, we have pre-production where we gonna talk about stuff, right?
Yeah, we pull out the topics for the week, and yeah.
Oh, okay. So this is a national TV show. You think that shouldn't have been? First off, do you think that it caught Skip? I didn't see it, so I'm asking: did it catch Skip off guard? Was this not talked about in pre-production? Was this just something that Shannon went from the hip? Went from, you know what I'm saying? Huh?
Skip did mention saying, I thought we weren't going to talk about it. And Shannon's rebuttal was, in my monologue, I wanted to speak what I wanted to speak and move on. Why can't I speak what I want to speak without you interrupting and going where you went? It wasn't about bringing the tweet up. I spoke my mind. This is what we did. And that's when Skip was, you know, he had already said, I'm not taking it down, this, that, and third. And Shannon had went like, okay, let's just go, because you took it somewhere I wasn't trying to take it. let me get my monologue off before you jump down my throat. If
I
there
need to
was-
see. I need to see the clip, man.
Yeah, you got.
But I need to see the clip. But at the same time, like I said, man, you don't wait till you get on. And I stand by this, regardless of what I see in this clip. You don't wait till you get on national TV to try to tell a man that he should take down a tweet because you don't agree with, you know what I'm saying, the purpose of what he was talking about. If you really got an issue with what that man tweeted, which I really don't understand why you would have an issue with what he tweeted. Yeah, it ain't you. That ain't your beliefs. You know what I'm saying? If you don't believe that, you don't believe it. You know what I'm
he
saying?
got
Like,
an issue with Shannon Sharp got an issue with it because dude in the NFL and dude black. That's what it come down to.
I get it, man. I get it. You know what I'm saying? But if it's that personal,
Well,
talk to that man.
The personal part come to his brother. His brother was temporarily paralyzed, and not to mention a lot of the injuries that he has seen himself. So we got to look at it from Shannon playing in the NFL. You got to look at it from this, like he said in his monologue, this is a brotherhood. I looked at it differently because I've never seen anybody die on the field. So you look at it from his perspective. I got to take the totality of everything.
I did, and that's where I'm coming from. That's how you feel about it. So that's your feeling about it. There's nothing wrong with your feeling about it. You can't make somebody else feel what you feel, bro. You know what I'm saying?
For all the more reason, Skip should have never tweeted what he tweeted.
I mean, he should have. I mean, that's the first statement I said. You know what I'm saying? Is that he shouldn't have tweeted it. It was definitely bad timing. As we like to say, you didn't read the room, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like you can't say nothing like that right now. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, he did. So I mean, you know, it ain't the end of the world. No, he shouldn't have said it. It was in poor taste. But I mean, it is what it is, man. That's just my feelings on it, man.
Yep. Yeah, we're gonna that's gonna be a topic, of course, we're gonna talk about for one more day. Probably that's how the news cycle works, 24, 48 hours. So this will be water under the bridge. Let's get to the college football final in our last few minutes before we get to our parting shots. TCU against Georgia. Tony, TCU got a chance?
I mean, everybody got a chance, man. Everybody got a chance. So yeah, they got a chance. I'm not gonna say they don't have no chance. They in the championship game for a reason. So they got a chance.
What about you, Dame?
They got a chance. I'm just scared. I'm scared that 335 really is gonna get them in trouble.
Yeah,
because this is a team to me that the 335 probably is most vulnerable to. Is most vulnerable to because one, if you watch the Ohio State Georgia game, TCU does not have. They got one NFL receiver that may give problems. I don't see it being a problem. It's gonna be a huge problem if Kirby used them tight ends like I think he's gonna use against that 335. It's gonna be a problem.
I think number 0, I think is gonna be out for this game, right, Tony?
No,
Yeah.
man, it ain't set in stone yet.
I mean, it ain't set in stone, but he probably ain't playing.
It's gonna be a problem, bro. I don't care what nobody say. Michigan went in full of themselves, talking. They pulled some stuff out of them, dog, and TCU proved that they was physical. The problem is that 335 it's not meant to stop tight ends. It's not meant to stop tight ends at all. And Georgia got a couple tight ends, bro. Even if Bowers is number 0, I think that's Bowers. If he hurt,
Washington.
If he hurt, man, look here.
We got another one.
You got tight ends.
We got another one.
Trust me.
Hey, let me ask y'all something, man. Y'all watched it? Did y'all watch the game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, both of them.
Is it just me being a homer dude, or hey man, The refs kept them flags in their pockets, dude. They was holding the shit out of damn Georgia,
Oh
dude.
man.
Am I
Uh-oh.
lying?
I'm gonna say this.
Am I lying? You weren't seeing Jalen Carter and them boys get tackled. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Their
I did
offensive
see that.
lineman tackling them boys, dude.
You got a referee on the podcast, so you know you got to look at that with a grain of salt. I did see a little bit.
Hey, man, that ain't no knock on no ref.
No, it ain't no knock on a referee, man. Let me tell you something about holding. Let me tell you something about holding and different calls in when you're out there in that football field. You literally could call holding every play. Let me just say that first thing. There's a hold on every play. Secondly, as an official, when it's crunch time, not unless it is just super clear cut, we are told to keep our flags in our pocket.
I'm not even talking about crunch time.
You're talking about right here at the end.
What hold did you see get called on Ohio State the whole game?
I'm not even talking
about crunch time.
I don't call a hold. But there's calls on both ways that could have went either way. There's several calls. So it's a lot of stuff that, like when it come time for playoff football, certain calls that are called in the regular season are not called in the playoffs. And I'm only saying that because I'm an official that have done regular season and playoffs. It's certain stuff, like for an example, let me tell y'all, in the regular season, high school football, at least in the state of Georgia, you have a 5-yard and a 15-yard flag. The regular season, we'll call a 5-yard flag. Playoffs, you better not call a 5-yard flag. You better be clearly a 15-yard penalty. That's it. That's just a small example. But at the end of the day, Georgia got the win. Let me just say this about that game. To me, talent-wise, recruiting-wise, Ohio State, out of the 3 teams, was the only team that had super legitimate chance of beating Georgia. As a matter of fact, Ohio State, Alabama, possibly Clemson, and maybe LSU, talent-wise, on paper, are the only teams that can beat Georgia in the country. This game with Georgia and TCU, Georgia's going to have to beat themselves like Michigan did. Like, really, Michigan with, 4 turnovers, beat themselves in this game.
They had 3.
They threw 2 pick sixes. They fumbled on the goal line. It seemed like I thought they had another one. Maybe they did.
It was 3. Fumble on the goal line and the 2 pick sixes.
So, in order for TCU to win this game, in my opinion, Georgia's going to have to beat themselves, and that's with turnovers, that's with untimely penalties, that kind of stuff. That's the way TCU can beat Georgia if Georgia beat Georgia.
Kirby is a defensive-minded coach. He's not going to do some of the stuff that Jesse Minter did.
Kirby wasn't that defensive-minded last week, was it?
Well, here's the thing. You just said it. Talent for talent. Ohio. Somebody said up here when Michigan lost, I was listening to my man on the radio. And what he said was so correct. He said Jim Harbaugh made Michigan to win the Big Ten. Ohio State was built to win the national championship, which goes to recruit. Marvin Harrison Jr., y'all gonna hate me for saying this. If he didn't get hurt, we would be having a different conversation. If he didn't play in that second half, Ohio State might have pulled that game out. But I'm saying when you got that talent, Georgia has, you will have to beat them talent for talent, and Ohio State had that talent. It's just that Kirby is the superior coach. Ryan Day made some stupid moves. That's all. I will say this about Ryan Day.
Ryan Day he called a hell of a game. So whatever people saying about coaching and all that, Ryan Day coached a hell of a game last Saturday, bro.
Go ahead, Tony. Last word, Tony.
I just want to say and point out that Marvin Harrison was going the hell off the first quarter, but after the first quarter, up until he got hurt, it was nothing. So you kill that.
He didn't have a catch after the second quarter. Yeah,
you kill that. I'm not, and like I say, injuries hurt. I'm not saying injuries don't hurt. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying he didn't have no impact on the game, But I'm not finna listen to people tell me that had such and such played, this person played. Yeah,
I'm gonna stand.
we hurt and banged up too.
I'm gonna stand
I'm
by.
not talking about you. I'm not talking about you, D. I see everybody else talking about it too. It ain't you.
But I say this, and the reason why I said it, and that's why it goes back to what I said. I know Mike said Ryan Day he called a hell of a plays, and he did. But one thing he did in the fourth quarter when it got tight, I've been saying this about Ryan Day in big games for the last couple years. He calls crazy plays, bro.
It wasn't him. Dude, listen.
What he do?
Let's
What crazy
Okay,
plays did he call?
whoa. Let me say this. Y'all know y'all gonna go off on me because y'all think I hate Ryan Day.
What crazy plays did he call?
At the end of the game, when they got the ball back, he called a mysterious run play that he ain't called all game.
What are you talking about? Y'all a trip, man. So he ain't supposed to.
Y'all ain't paying attention to what I'm saying.
So he ain't called a running play.
Time out. Hold on. This is the same thing he did the last couple years against Michigan. He's doing certain things. Quarter one, he'll skip, he'll stop, go to quarter two, he change up. Then halftime, he make the correct adjustments. Then all of a sudden he gets stubborn and start going back to other stuff that don't matter.
That's coaching.
They have been running. They have been running the ball all game. It was setting up. They played. They kept talking about it all game on how Ohio State, even though they weren't running the ball well, they kept sticking to the run and was keeping Georgia honest. He ran the ball. Wait a minute. He ran the ball one time. Second down, they passed. We blitzed the hell out of their ass. He had to get rid of the ball. Third down, he tried to pass. We blitzed the hell out of their ass. He had to get rid of the ball. It was good defense.
You miss what I'm saying. It was ample amount of time. It's not the fact that he didn't stick with the run. It was the actual play call. That's what I'm trying to say.
I know what you're saying, but you saying on that whole drive they shouldn't have ran the ball at all.
Because here's what I'm saying. Regardless of Marvin Harrison was being out, they still had receivers that was getting open. They still was getting open, getting down the field, bro. That's just like the Michigan game.
Damon,
hold on.
That's coaching.
It's like I'm gonna shut up after this. It's just like the Michigan game. Why in God's name are you blitzing from both sides of the ball and they eating you alive all day? Why are you blitzing? Why are you playing cover zero? It's like, what are you doing? You shooting your
take a shot at the defensive coordinator. Don't take a shot at Ryan Day. Ryan Day, if I had to grade him,
Jesse Minter I'm talking about. Because
Ryan Day on Saturday night.
Ryan Day
on Saturday night called a perfect game. He gets an A+. Okay. He called a hell of a game Saturday night. Okay. So if they kick that field goal, it's irrelevant. Ryan Day got respect nationally. He called a hell of a game.
Hold on, bro.
Georgia just did a little bit better.
Respect nationally. There ain't nobody saying the man. It took him almost 2 years to lose a game in the Big Ten. I'm not saying he ain't got no respect, but I'm looking at certain things, bro, that y'all seem to say is irrelevant, not irrelevant to me. Because
all I'm saying is, dude. All I'm saying is, I can't understand why people drag this man because he ran the ball one time. He ran the ball one time on first down. You're ignoring the fact. Everybody's ignoring the fact. Second and third down, he tried to pass the ball. It was a good defensive call that got the ball out of Stroud's hands on second and third down. They kept them where they was at.
That's why I'm giving Kirby his credit. What I'm saying is, it's not the fact that he didn't stick with the run, T. I'm saying at the end of the day, it's the actual play call. It's the call that they made. That's what I'm saying.
What's wrong with the call?
I can't explain it, bro. What I saw,
I don't understand.
I know you don't understand because you looking at it from a standpoint. You and Tony looking at a standpoint that he ran the ball. He did.
Fade. Okay, hold on. Cause Fade being quiet. He just Fade.
Fade, you
Do you
the
want
judge,
what?
Fade. Fade, you the
What was
judge. You
wrong?
judge.
What was wrong? What was wrong with them running the ball on first down after they got in field goal range?
You judge Joe Brown, Fade. Let us know. You the
What was
judge.
wrong with them running the run play on first down when they got in field goal range, Fade?
I'm not getting in it.
Was
man.
that a horrible call?
The 2 pass plays were.
What was wrong with the 2 pass play?
Should have. If you're gonna just run it, stay at least center the ball some for the kicker. Get the ball to the center between the hashes. Because since they ran the ball went left, he was tackling the left hash, and then on second down,
that's what y'all missing. The play calls. I'm not calling Ryan Day a horrible coach. I'm saying at the time that he made those certain play calls.
No, I see what Damon is saying. See, he got sacked on second down. They had to use their last timeout. Then third down, they blitzed again.
No, they didn't have to use their last timeout. No, they didn't.
Yes,
they didn't. No.
Did he
no.
use it? When he
didn't get sacked.
He got sacked on second down, man. He got sacked on second down.
Dude, he didn't, dude.
It must have been.
He threw the ball away. He threw the ball away.
He didn't get sacked.
He threw the ball away, Fade. He threw the ball away. On second down, they lost a yard. They lost a yard on first down. He threw the ball away on second down and avoided sack. He threw the ball away on third down and avoided sack. He didn't get sacked, Fade.
I'm mixing up the play then. He should have just ran it to the middle to get the kicker a center kick. That's what I would have did. You had 2 timeouts left.
It would have been the play call itself. Nobody is saying that Ryan Day the whole game he called a horrible game. That's not what I'm saying. At the end of the day, Georgia won by 1 point. Me personally, I actually think that he could have came into a different play call because Ryan Day is known as an offensive genius. You looking at the whole game. You walking the sidelines. You're the primary OC. You the head coach and you're the primary OC. So you looking at what works for CJ and what was working for you. I'm not saying they went away from the running. I'm saying there was different plays.
Well, what you want them to call then, David? What you want them to call? A Hail Mary? What you want them to call? I'm asking.
You being stupid, nah.
Hey, man, I'm with Atwater, man. I just don't get it, man. That's what I saw everybody. That's what I saw everybody on Twitter up in arms about that night, talking about, oh, it was Glad Pay calling fire for that. People talking about firing him, dude.
I ain't
play call. I know you're not saying that. I'm just saying what I'm telling you what I was reading. That's why I jumped on it as soon as you said it. Because I've been seeing everybody talking about it. I don't understand what was so bad about the play call.
When they got the ball back, you didn't know that Georgia was going to come at you with all our blitzes.
Dude, they were going down the field. They went down the field.
Tony, that's not what I'm disputing. As an offensive-minded guy, you see this stuff. You practice plays for stuff like this. I know for a fact that Ryan Day had some plays in his back pocket that he did not call.
But you're not even talking about the pass play. At least Fave is talking about. He's talking about the pass plays, saying that those should have been different. You're talking about the run one play, and just like everybody else, I kept seeing on Twitter talking about the run play, like he shouldn't run the damn ball.
No.
What was so bad about him running the ball?
I think the one run play, I honestly believe, to me, what made it, I ain't gonna say it was sickening. I'm gonna say I've seen Ryan Day all season long when he had all our blitzes on him, especially that Northwestern game when the wind was terrible. He made it more to where it fit and he got yards. I honestly think that one particular run play was one he rushed to call. That's my point. The man had plenty of run plays that he used that I didn't see him use in this game. That's all I'm saying.
That's the point of coaching, Damon. I'm not supposed to pull everything out the hat early during the game. Them coaches have plays for
I'm
yardage.
not talking about play calling at the end of the game. I'm not talking about the beginning of the game.
But I'm saying you talking about a run play that you talking about a run play that you hadn't seen the whole game. I have plays for where I'm at on the field, for what the yards to gain is. So that's a whole part of coaching. That's the OC. Ryan Day, Saturday night, he called a A+ game. A+.
Y'all will never see what I'm saying. I'm just gonna let it go.
If Georgia, if Ohio State kicked that field goal, we got a whole different conversation right here.
If it was the fifth, we all be drunk. I get that. I'm saying I'm gonna let it go because it's like y'all making it like I'm saying Ryan Day is an awful coach. I'm saying from what I watched this man, I watched Ohio State football, and you saying that's a part of coaching. Yeah, it is. If you see something and you got something in your back pocket that you think will work, that you know probably will work, why not pull it out? That's all I'm saying. Coaching, that's all the coordinator. Why not pull it out? That's all I'm saying. The two pass plays I really saw, even if with the all out blitz that they did, if you do that to Duggan, it's going to be a problem because he is more of a mobile quarterback. So they took advantage. That's why I give what's the name Kirby all the credit in the world. That's why I give him the edge. He's been there, he won it, and he's a defensive-minded coach that pays attention, and he gonna do his thing when it's time. I'm not talking about the whole game. I'm talking about when it's crunch time. Kirby gonna make the right move. And at that point, I thought it was a wrong move because I watched Ohio State football all season. I thought
before we go in crunch time, what did Kirby do?
I mean,
how much did he do? Because the missed field goal is what kept them from winning the game. CJ Stroud broke off, I think, 1 or 2 runs. They had a couple of passes. So what did Kirby do?
That's the nature of the game. He put, just like you said, wasn't it called an A+ game? I think that Kirby called an A game. And you dealing with recruits and guys that's gonna make good plays at the end of the day.
That's not what he's talking about, Fade. That's a pass play. That's not what he's talking about.
That first down, wasn't it?
No.
He
ran on first down. He ran on first down.
Yeah,
well, that's third down then. That's the third down play then.
They ran on first down, yeah.
That's the third down play then.
And that's what Dane was talking about, him running on first down. Yeah, that's what started this conversation.
Yeah, I'm talking about I wonder why he called that play, and I done seen a million plays in that specific type of defensive setup that got 12, 13 yards. That's why I was confused. That's why I said, damn, Ryan, what you doing? That's exactly what I'm talking about. I'm not asking a man to get fired. If Ohio State fired that man for that, they crazy.
And they ain't gonna fire for that. That's people being people. You know what I'm saying? In the world, in the age
he need to be fired for that. They don't watch
that we live in. But I stand by what I said. I don't see nothing wrong with him running the ball on first down.
I'm not saying he shouldn't have ran the ball on first down, T. I said it's the play. I'm not talking about him actually running the peel. I actually thought running the ball was actually smart. I'm talking about actually running the peel, the type of play that he called. That's the only thing I was saying. I'm not talking about the actual him running. I'm talking about the play call.
Okay.
Hey, Faye, I'm gonna tell you what this game's Monday night kind of is similar to me. It kind of reminds me of I guess about 10 years ago, the Oklahoma Boise State game when Boise State was just trying to get on the scene. They ran that little play right at the end of the game. What they run like a little Statue of Liberty play.
Yeah,
it kind of reminds you of that game when you got a national powerhouse going up against a team on. I mean, I know the stakes are different. It's a national championship game, but you got a powerhouse going up against a team that's trying to be on the ride. Georgia just need to be aware. They need to be aware.
Well, one thing I will say about TCU, they gonna come to play. They don't give up. They don't quit. I just think this is the team that they might have. They got a chance. I just think the chance is not as big as everybody believes. I don't see. If I was to predict the score, it probably would be something to the effect of 35-21. 35, 28, something in that area.
All right, Mike, what's your
When-
score pick? He picked Georgia, Tony.
Yeah, Georgia.
I'm going 42-35.
Tony.
I'm not picking on score, man. I'm calling the game.
Oh, you go to
But
LA?
I do have one other thing I want to say. The play of the game in that Georgia Ohio State game was not a play. It was Kirby's timeout on fourth down. They was getting ready to run that fake punt.
Yeah,
That's what changed the game.
You changed the game. I agree. I agree completely. I agree.
The Kirby Smart timeout, the Javon Bullet hit on Marvin Harrison, and that tightrope act by Brock Bowers on fourth down with that catch. The three biggest plays of the game.
Yep. Now, see, that's. I don't know if y'all agree with me on this, but I think Bowers is the X factor. That 3.35 is very friendly to big tight ends. Is very friendly to a very good pass catching tight end. Is very friendly.
The last time a team ran a 3.35 on Georgia, it was when Arkansas came into Athens last year. They were undefeated, and Georgia beat them like 40-6. Georgia ran for almost 350 yards.
I think there's going to be a problem in this one because one thing I noticed about TCU, they do have good speed. And like I say, they are physical. They don't give up. But that scene, bro, if our tight end was a little more healthy and they won through Michigan out their game plan, that scene was open. And see, Stetson Bennett to me is very underrated. I really look at him as the guy that he wants to prove everybody wrong. And he been doing it all year. I got them boys winning by at least 10 or 14.
UGA 50, TCU 17.
Hey man, parting shots, man. Let's go. Fave on that same. Let's go, man. Let's go.
You heard Fave pick, T?
What is that?
You heard his pick?
No, what is that?
You repeated, Fave. I'm not going to repeat it.
Georgia 50, TCU 17.
I knew you was going to do that.
And when I score close to that, don't get mad. All right, go ahead, Dame, with your party shot.
Okay, fellas. I can proudly say as alumni of my high school, little small school, Ecorse High, we have a rising star. First time that we actually had a guy come and playing basketball this high, Malik. I can't pronounce his last name because his father is African. I don't even want to destroy his name like that, but he has climbed up the rankings as a low 4-star player, 6'3.5", scoring machine. Led us to a state quarterfinal last year. Last year he was averaging like 26 a game. I think this year he's averaging a little under 25. I want to give a shout out to him, man. Got like 17, 18 offers. This is the third time since. No, it's the second. I'm sorry. The second time that Ecorse really had a great player. Really the first time since star rankings came out. So shout out to that young fella, man. I don't know what school he going to. He went to a lot of camps and showed out. So I got to give him a shout out since it's basketball season. And hopefully he can take it, represent us to a higher level, man. Shout out, Malik. I hope you do well, bro. BMF, really, Anatole, that's how you doing it, bro. Wow.
All right, Pretty Tony.
Man, with me, it's short and sweet this week. 2 words.
Go Dogs.
Go Dogs.
Go damn Dogs.
Go dog, Tony.
Do
it on that, good.
Do it like a dog. Do it like a dog.
Go damn Dogs, man.
Go Dogs. Go ahead, Mike.
I guess it was a week ago now when Luka Doncic had one of the most unbelievable stat lines in NBA history. 60 points, like 21 rebounds, like 11, 12 assists. That was a great number. What I am upset about, as an Atlanta Hawk fan, we have people that are saying that the Hawks were stupid for not keeping Luka and taking Trae Young. Let me tell you something.
They
The
right.
Atlanta Hawks, with Trae Young, Luka Doncic for his career has averaged 28 points, close to 9 rebounds, close to 9 assists. Trae Young, his career, close to 26 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists. Luka Doncic, 3-time All-NBA player, first team. Trae Young, 2-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA team. Trae Young is also one of only 2 players in NBA history to lead the league in scoring and assists. Let me put the cherry on top. He also led college basketball in scoring and assists in the same year as a freshman. So yes, Luka right now is one of the top 3 or 4 players in the league. But Atlanta Hawk fans, stop making it seem like Trae Young is a bust and he's not that good. Trae Young is arguably one of the top 15 or 20 players in the league. No, he's not Luka, but Trae Young is not a bust. Stop making it seem like the Hawks made a bad move not getting Luka Doncic versus Trae Young. Luka and Trae have both been to the same level with basketball. Luka has been to a Western Conference Final. Trae Young been to an Eastern Conference Final. So is it that much clear cut that the Luka over Trae Young? I definitely disagree. Not taking nothing from Luka. He's one of the top 5 players in the league. But stop saying that the Hawks made a bad decision not taking Trae Young.
Hey, question.
Who said that?
Question.
Who said that?
Well, a lot of people saying
I've heard people talking about, oh man, the Hawks made a bad decision keeping Trae Young, and because remember the Hawks and the Mavericks on draft night they traded picks.
Right.
The Hawks initially had Luka, and the Mavericks had Trae Young, and they swapped. But there's people out there that Sports Talk Radio actually this morning were talking about how the Hawks, and people were calling in talking about the Hawks should have kept Luka and over Trae Young and all that. Bruh, this dude putting up just as many stats as Luka. Trae Young done had 50-point games before. He might not have a 60, but Trae Young had 50-point game. And when the last time you heard somebody lead college basketball in scoring and assists and lead the NBA? How many times you heard that? So I'm not saying y'all, and I'm just saying it was a topic on the radio station this morning.
No, a lot of that's been floating around, man. That not just this year. They were talking about that last year too. But a couple things. I really don't want to say this because I don't want to throw no shade at the Hawks, but I'm just gonna say it. Luka wouldn't be Luka if he was with the Hawks. That's number one. For real, that's number one. He wouldn't be Luka. We wouldn't be talking about him in that way if he was with the Hawks. I feel that in my spirit. Number two, when did Luka go to a Western Conference Final?
They went last year.
Yeah.
They played Golden State in the Western Conference Final last year.
Yeah, in the Western Conference Final. I think that's when he averaged like 40.
They blew Phoenix out in the semifinal in Phoenix, and they played Golden State in the Western Conference Final.
Yeah.
So who they play in the first round then? Because I don't remember them winning 2 playoff series and going to. I may be wrong, dude. I may be wrong.
I think Dallas beat. I want to say, did they beat Denver?
No, Golden State beat Denver in the first round. I think Dallas,
I can't remember who Dallas beat, but Dallas.
He went to the Western Conference Final. If I'm not,
He was in the Western Conference Finals last year.
All right, that's on me. That's on me. I just didn't remember that.
Shocked. I'm actually shocked to hear. That, Mike. I'm sorry. I'm playing like I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that. I didn't realize that it was an issue because Tony nailed it. Luka won Luka in Atlanta.
Yeah, too much Magic City. Also, we'll get for starting part of shot. They also have him and Luka also have one other thing in common. They also got a coach fired too. So don't forget that, Mike.
Oh my goodness, man.
Just saying.
Good. Fade Bayless. That's his new name, man.
No, he did.
Man, change his name in here, man. Man, you know what, man? Fade is gonna always bring up about somebody.
Hey, Bayless.
Some kind of drama. Something
Hey,
about
I'm gonna
somebody getting fired.
I'm gonna start saying it just off GP.
Hey,
I promise
it's
I'm
either
gonna
that
start
or
saying it.
Fabian A. Smith.
No, it's gonna be
Answer the
Fade
question for me,
Bayless.
Fade.
No.
Fade, answer the question for me. Why did that even matter? Why'd you even say that? Why does it matter?
I'll be funny, okay?
Good, Mr. Granger.
They just said it. They beat the Jazz 4-2.
Jazz, yeah. All
That's
right.
what they. Yeah, okay.
All right.
Yeah.
So we spent about 45 minutes today talking about DeMar Hamlin and hoping he's right now he's on 50% oxygen, which is good considering he was at 100%. My problem is NFL. When are you going to get it right and go ahead and offer a lifetime benefit for NFL players when they retire or leave the league? When are you going to do that? You're a multi-billion-dollar industry. And you mean to tell me you can't get these guys on pay for their Cobra, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Kaiser, anything, something? You mean to tell me that the lifespan of NFL players is 3.4 years? 3.4. And you can't take care of those players and make it. Okay, I got a solution for you. We talked about what we can do for the WNBA. This is what we can do for retired players or players that have left the league that retire after they get cut, can't find a team. Okay, if you're in the league for 4 years and you do not come back in the league and find another team, you are automatically vested in lifetime insurance. No matter how long, you'll have lifetime insurance until your death. It's just that simple. You could afford it. NFLPA tried to put it in their collective bargaining and the owner shot it down. Let Monday be a lesson to all these owners who are of the other persuasion. What it is, they don't want to take care of us. I'll just call it like it is. We're going to lose Sprite. No, we're not going to lose Sprite. That's a black folks drink. Arizona tea, we might lose Arizona tea.
All right, don't worry about them. I'll talk to them.
70% of your league is African American. 3 of your coaches are black. 3 of your GMs are black. Anybody that played or coached in the NFL should receive lifetime benefits if they've been in that capacity for a minimum 4 years. Just pay the bill. Do the right thing. That's all I got to say on that. Just do the right thing. Monday should have been a waking up point for you to put in a collective bargaining agreement. We will vest players that played 4 years in the league, consecutive years in the league, and pay for their medical benefits. Get it right, Roger Goodell. All right, that's our show. We want to thank everybody for watching. Don't forget you can follow us on YouTube and Facebook. We'll see you Sunday. We out.
Fabian Bayless. What a great name.
Hey,
Yes, sir.
I'm on it, dude. That's
Fabian Bayless. I actually like that name, Faye.
it. That's it, Faye.